everyone, it's Jack with the Cryton Chronicles, and this is my first video in the iJack A to Z 2017 blogging challenge. Today's letter is A, and the subject is anxiety. I don't really have any like bullet points, like script things, so I kind of just gonna free flow it. But yeah, I'll just kind of go into it. Obviously this itself is making me very anxiety bound. Just being on cam and talking and whatever. Hopefully I'm loud enough. Girlfriend's sleeping, and yeah, it's 7:15. I haven't slept yet myself, so that kind of plays into amping up my anxiety. And I just recorded another video, and while that was still kind of anxiety bound, there were moments within that my anxiety levels raised a little. So, but yeah, so I'll try to play it cool. And yeah, so otherwise, I've had anxiety for probably a good chunk of my adult life. I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe even as a teen and stuff. I guess I didn't really register it back then like I can now. And how it's transferred or kind of morphed back then to now. I mean, I've always kind of been like a loner, like not necessarily a loner, but like an observer. So I'm always quiet, I'm always whatever, and I just watch. But don't like attention, all that like center of attention crap. With groups of friends, maybe I feel a lot better. And I'm more able to express myself and be myself to an extent, maybe a little too much, to where it probably annoys the hell out of some people because it's kind of like two different polar opposites there. But yeah, so anxiety in most of my life, as it adapted, I guess I wanted to focus on when I moved here and took a job that was like a caretaking job, so building caretaking and stuff, where I don't know, at least in school, my standard jobs before this one, I was interacting with people a lot. And I guess I was here to an extent until about halfway through, and then it shifted to where I don't really associate with a lot of people. And I guess the reason why I bring it up is because my anxiety kind of amplifies my desire, and this job amplifies my anxiety, which then amplifies my like reclusiveness. I feel like I'm kind of recluse. It's not that I want to be, and not that I don't feel that I can't interact with people, but it's like this that psychological. Social anxiety is pretty pretty rough for me anyway. So um, yeah. Uh, so I don't know. The social anxiety obviously plays a part in big groups. I like small groups. I don't like large groups of people. The loudness is something that kind of triggers me a little bit, except like music festivals. That's never really been a problem. Um, Whatever it is, just I love music, so the music kind of helped calm me, I guess, where I don't know, probably helped that a lot of times I'm with friends in those scenarios, so it's usually not so bad. But in general, like loud bars, and I don't mean like bar music. If it's a live band, sure, but if it's just them blaring music and just loud and you're yelling at each other to talk, I hate that crap. But yeah, so, but yeah, my anxiety forces me to miss out on a lot of stuff, just personally, well, all personally, but and also with just other people. So you'll sometimes see those 5 things those with anxiety wish that those close to them would understand. Some of those and those memes and stuff are pretty accurate. Um, like with me, it's especially where they talk about you don't want to not go out, you don't want to stay in and stuff. It's like you really want to be invited, but even if you are, you generally are going to say no. And it gets to that point that people are not going to ask you anymore because you always say no, and it's not that you want to. So I love being asked to do things in general, but getting me to do said things is kind of hard, even if it's just stuff I'm familiar with, going to game with friends or visit family or or whatever. Family's usually not so bad. Maybe like on the other end with my girlfriend's family or something that makes it kind of hard. But where it's harder. Um, but what I've found that is once I'm there and in that environment, um, it may take a while, but generally my anxiety subsides and my mood shifts, and then I'm able to have a good time. This is obviously like faster if there's people that I know there, friends, family, girlfriend, what have you. So, um, yeah. But my anxiety also has like some other aspects of anything, trying anything new. Like, I don't care what it is, food, like, food place, like somewhere like a restaurant I've never been to, or um, man, I remember the ATM at the drive-through ATM at a bank, like different gas station. Like I I would rather, in fact, actually with an ex, like we went to an ATM at at uh, at the bank drive-through, and like I didn't know how to operate it, just whatever. I wanted to deposit money or something, and something messed up happened, and I literally just drove off. Like I'd rather drive off. It's like that fight or flight mentality that triggers that emotional reaction, and so I just was like, get the freak out of Dodge and get out of there. So yeah, that's all that works. But that happens. That's a lot, and that is part of why it's hard to get me to do things, especially that are new. Like, hey, let's go check out this place. Let's go do this activity. And it's like, it might sound fun, and I think I might like it, but I'm afraid when it's new, like, I don't want to. It's like this self-conscious thing. Like, I don't, like at the bank ATM, I don't want to F up. I don't want to look like a fool. I don't want to embarrass myself or others with me and all that stuff. So that's one of the very negative things with my anxiety is it stops me from trying and doing new things because I'm not familiar with them. Once I start to familiarize myself, like I go up to the bank, oh, thank God, the bank ATM all the time with no problem. But like, but until that point, I mean, it sounds really dumb, but it was like a huge kind of a thing. It was messed up. So, but that's kind of how it manifests. That's one of the ways it manifests in me. Um, and obviously, I'm just kind of, like I said, freewheeling. I'm just kind of showing how anxiety affects me. Um, One other negative, and that's all negative probably, but obviously, but another negative way that it impacts me is that possibly like that like out of the blue mood switch, like if something like happens that I'm not comfortable with, it's kind of that fight or flight kind of thing too. In those moments where I want to like just go, and it might be very nonsensical, it might be irrational, but that's just like my reaction, and it kind of obviously then has like a negative impact with those around me, and usually it's probably with my girlfriend because we're out all the time doing stuff together when we are um, out and about, when I'm out and about. So, but I'll I'll just like shut down, and I don't want to talk. I don't, and I have this like expectation of those who are with me to like understand this and be like, I just want to go, let's go, and don't say anything. Don't ask questions. Just I can talk later or whatever. And I just want to get out of there. And then I do try hard now to fight it, but I do not always win. And so I feel really bad because it obviously then affects others around me when I myself am like being affected just on my own, and then it makes probably compounds feeling crappy, and that's a whole other thing, I guess, but associated where I just feel really bad because I don't want to ruin anybody else's fun. Like sometimes if I know my anxiety might be too much, I'm kind of like, I'll just stay here, you can do whatever, and that's fine because I don't always win out against anxiety. So yeah, so that's a huge factor anxiety plays. in my life, and that's a very negative negative aspect of it. Um, but I do try, and another thing is kind of like even just talking with people. It's kind of like a self-confidence anxiety thing too, is like the eye contact. Like I know eye contact's very important, but when I'm talking and I'm like telling either a story or just talking, just sometimes just in general, I'll sometimes kind of like strafe away my eyes and stuff and like not look directly in the eyes, like staring down someone. And sometimes I can do that, and I understand it on a professional, like business level. Sometimes too, it's like really important. But so interviews kind of can be like nerve-wracking, obviously, but just in general. And I think, unfortunately, it brings about this thought process that you're lying. Like that's just, I think, how a lot of people just believe that that's what that means. Like if you can't make eye contact, if you look away one way or the other and all this stuff, well, then you're lying or whatever because you can't maintain that eye contact. And unfortunately, that's untrue. But yeah, and I usually don't have like problems with people accusing me of that or the like, actually. So, and that's the other part. Some do think that. I just know that's a human, just human nature, and like reacting to that behavior, thinking that lack of eye contact is you're lying and all this stuff and whatever. But believe me, more people who are lying can look you straight in the eye and lay out the bullshit. So whatever. But the other thing is how anxiety affects me is when out and about, and this is part of the, like, also again compounds on going to new places, and I don't have my water or something. But basically, how what I think people are thinking is like just really not good. A lot of times it's will be out at a restaurant. This has actually tamed way down, thankfully. But I know years ago, if we were out somewhere and um yeah, I can hear my girlfriend stirring, and I'm getting anxiety because I don't want her to walk out here because my cat's waking her up because he's hungry. But yeah, so um, I like think they think things. If I walk into a place, I always automatically think people are looking at me, thinking just whatever negative thoughts. And this is all my anxiety, paranoia, I'd imagine, is mixed in there. And I don't know. So, but there'd be many times where it's like, oh, I'm thinking basically more so like appearance. Oh, he looks ugly, or why would she be with him, and why, what, whatever. There's like a wide swath of negative thoughts that I think other people are thinking of me, regardless of the reality that most people don't give a damn and they don't really think about you. They're busy thinking about themselves and paying attention to their own thing. But but that was something, at least, that was a huge issue years ago. Less so now, but it still can happen now and again. But I try to just block it off and just do my own thing and try not to worry about what other people think, and try to like try to absorb the fact that most people don't care about anything outside their little bubble and such. So um, yeah, I was hoping this would be a shorter video. It's almost 15 minutes, but I got a little rambly there and sidetracked with some other stuff going on. But yeah, so these have been ways that anxiety has impacted me and continues to impact me. Um, I definitely don't have time to go into some other stuff in terms of trying to resolve these issues. Most of it has been some minor therapy, but also a lot of my own personal, just mind over matter-ish kind of attempts to adjust and evolve and kind of take over that emotions. Unfortunately, some areas, like I said, like thinking of what other people are thinking is one thing that I've actually done really well with, but the reclusiveness, um, that's still something that's just, it's there. And yeah, so I continue to work on it and try to manage that and get out and partake. And I know it's like, instead of saying no, it's like saying yes and is a kind of a one of those little tricks you try to do with yourself and whatnot. I honestly haven't done that at all, but yeah, just the idea of trying to get myself to go out and say yes more than no. And unfortunately, like those who might be watching this who are familiar with me and associate with me on a real face-to-face basis and whatnot, or maybe even just online, is that it takes a lot to get me to actually go out and do things and just to leave and whatever. And it's my social anxiety and my general level anxiety. So yeah, so hopefully that gives you a little insight to myself personally and about my anxiety and how it affects me. And yeah, do you have anxiety? How does it manifest with you? Maybe you want to tell me below in the comments. That'd be awesome. Kind of strike up a dialogue if you want. Also, not just how anxiety plays a role in your life and affects you currently, but also how has it in the past, and what steps have you made or plan to take, or have heard are ways to basically combat that and to slowly heal yourself over time and adjust and evolve and to where that anxiety no longer manifests in the same ways or at all. I would love to hear that. And so, yeah, if you're open to sharing that, that'd be great. So, again, I'm Jack with the Cryton Chronicles. This has been the first A to Z 2017 challenge entry. And this letter A subject was anxiety. So, thank you very much for the time. If you're interested in learning more about the A to Z and stuff and you just happen across this, I'll have links in the description below to my site, to my Facebook page, and to the A to Z info and stuff like that. And otherwise, just like the video and subscribe if you want to see more and keep in touch and whatnot. That'd be great. Thanks again for your time, and I'll see you next time.